Let's get to the point where you're buying me Chanel, you're paying my bills, you're giving me money. Like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with Coco. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and follow me on Instagram at Birkin Coco. You know how to spell Birkin and you know how to spell Coco. You can see by the title of this video, I am doing a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to, you know, ask me some questions for YouTube, and I have finally gotten to sit down and do this video. If you see Chanel jumping in the background, don't mind her. That is how she, you know, participates. I have a glass of wine. Don't mind my nails, I need to get them done. Okay, also part of my seasonal depression and like my mood swings in the winter time is like me just being a bum in the house. So I've literally been at home for 2 weeks straight, did not go anywhere. I'm just gonna go ahead and answer these questions that you guys sent me. It was a lot of questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of questions. Okay, so we're gonna try to answer as much of them as possible, but I can guarantee you guys that we're gonna answer all of them. This is a good one. What inspires you and makes you want to hit goals like you do non-stop? So what inspires me? I actually think what inspires me is seeing other people do things. That sounds silly, like, but no, really, like if you see someone doing something, it kind of gives you that like encouragement, like, oh, it can be done. So like if I see someone driving a Bentley and she's 20 something years old, it makes me believe like, oh, okay, like, you know, if I really work hard, if I really put my energy into getting a Bentley, I could get a Bentley. So that's just basically what it is. Like when I see other people do stuff, it drives me to want to get the same thing. Like I don't believe there's anything in the world that anyone else can get that I can't get. Like, if that makes sense. Like I don't believe that anyone is better than me or anyone is more deserving than me. I think if you can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So that's just how I kind of go into life, with like when I want something. And granted, you know, obviously we probably all aren't gonna get the same things the same time or the same way, but if it's something that you really want, you can do it. So that's kind of how I try to stay inspired, by looking at other people do stuff. How did you get into the sugar baby lifestyle? Sorry if you answered this before. I got into the sugar baby lifestyle because I was a broke 19-year-old who decided to move out of my mother's house. Not because I got kicked out or anything. I always have to clarify that, okay? I was actually brought up in a very nice household, okay? My mother did okay for herself. She, you know, saved money, sent us to good schools. It was just at 19, I guess maybe it was because she locked me up in the house so much that it made me want to go out. What's his name? Me and Victor, we went more in depth with this on his podcast. If I can still find the link of it, I'll leave it down in the description and you guys can go listen to the whole story on how I actually ended up moving out of my mother's house and was a broke 18-year-old out in Boston. And this black guy, this black older gentleman, I have to be honest, this black older gentleman, I was sitting in the park, I had just gotten fired. He came and sat next to me. He saw that I was sad, okay? And he basically just told me like, you're so pretty, and you know, and he hinted, I didn't even know what a sugar daddy was. So he really had to explain it to me. You have to really think about, like, I'm this 18-year-old I lived, or I grew up in an all white community, white and Asian, okay? The only black girl in the entire freaking grade. I didn't know much about city life. Like, the town that I was in, it was very suburban. I was so naive, and so basically he just kind of like told me like, hey, you know, you're so pretty. You should really, you know, get your sugar daddy. And I was like, what do you mean a sugar daddy? He was like, you know, just be around older people. So of course I went and I googled how to get a sugar daddy and ended up on Seeking Arrangement, and from there we are here today. How are you planning your 2022 plans for 2022? It's just to stay consistent, travel more, you know. Obviously I'm always traveling, but you know, travel some more in 2022, be more positive, try to be as positive as I can to other people, you know, keep doing what I'm doing with my everyday life, with, you know, saving my money, making plans for my future, and now just bettering myself as a woman and just as a person in general. So that is my plan for 2022. But if you want to, like, you know, cut it short, bitch, get to the money. Okay, period. Honestly, no, 2022, I'm gonna need me a private jet daddy, point blank, period. By the end of 2022, I want to meet a man with his private jet and actually get on his private jet. Like, I've met guys who say they ride private jets, say they have private jets, but I've actually like never physically seen it. Body measurement, height, weight, etc. 5'8", I weigh about 125 pounds. When I'm like eating a lot and, like, you know, it's about to be that time of the month, maybe about 130 pounds. 32 triple D, and I'm about a 34 or 36 on my hip, and my waist is 24, 25, depending. What makes you trust a sugar daddy? The way he treats me. What makes you trust anybody? You know, how they treat you, how they respond to you. Like, is he an honest person? Like, are you finding out that he's lying to you about little details, or are you finding out that he's being an honest person? You know, so that's what would make me trust him. Honesty. Oh, this was a good one. What's your end goal in the sugar game? So my end game is to one, be 30 and a millionaire. Freedom to travel, live a nice luxury lifestyle, you know, save money for future plans, future investments, just be a 30-year-old boss ass bitch, you know, period. I'm a 26-year-old boss ass bitch. But when I'm 30 though, it's really not about the designer stuff and the luxury stuff like that I buy now. But I tell you guys, I have an IRA. I also have an Acorns account. So I have different ways of which I'm right now saving money for my retirement. You know, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna be retiring from. I guess retiring from working for myself. But either way, an IRA is still a great thing to have, just, you know, for the future. And like, even if it's like $20 you're putting in it a month, think about what that $20 accumulates in interest in like 40 years. So my end game is just to keep living a good free life as I'm doing now, but obviously with, you know, making great investments for not only me, but if I do have kids in the future, you know, for rainy days, all of that stuff. So have you ever considered being a cam model? I actually thought about it. I had spoken to a few girls for my Patreon. Some just from Instagram. There was a girl I had like communicated actually for a while on Instagram, and she was doing the cam stuff. Now personally for me, I went live on my OnlyFans a few times, and it just wasn't it for me. Like, it almost feels like I'm begging someone to give me a little $10 or a little $5, you know, like the tips, because I think with cam models you make money off of tips. So I don't know, I tried the OnlyFans live and they try to get the guys to tip me, and it was just like, these men, like, yeah, they pay to, you know, to see my OnlyFans stuff, but like, these men were just not it when it came to like tipping me. And I'm there like, you know, I'll take this shirt off if you know, tip me this amount of money, and it's like awkward silence. I'm waiting for someone to tip me. So no, I've never actually tried actual cam like modeling, but I did do a live on my OnlyFans, which is practically the same thing that cam models do. And I just wasn't interested in it after a few times of doing it on OnlyFans, so haven't done it again. This is a good question because I always get this question a lot. She said, juggling 4 boyfriends, how? Listen, see, the problem with you ladies is this, right? You cannot expect one man to do it all, okay? I feel like that's the problem that a lot of us women like come into. Like, that's our problem, okay? We expect to find that holy grail, and that's it. And it's like, there's only so many holy grails out there, and the holy grail is the man who can do it all for you, okay? Who can pay all your bills, take you to luxury locations, take you luxury shopping, give you money enough for you to buy what you want, save, all of that stuff. That is a holy grail man. And do you know how many of those men are out there? And then you have to keep in mind, not every rich, wealthy man has that personality where it's like they're as generous in giving away their money as some men are. Like, you can have 2 people with $1 million each, and this person is more willing to give out his $1 million than this person, okay? 4 boyfriends. As a matter of fact, I say this all the time, I'm looking for my 5th and my 6th boyfriend. 4 boyfriends. 1 to pay the rent. I actually answered that on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me on Instagram, Birkin Coco. You know how to spell Birkin, and you know how to spell Coco. 1 to pay your rent. You got bills, you got rent, you got car note, you got car insurance, you have electricity, cable. You have 1 for bills, okay? You have 2 for luxury items and designer shopping sprees, if you know, or if you want regular shopping sprees, you can do that too. But number 2 takes you to Chanel, to Dior, to Saks, wherever you like, you know. Number 3 takes you on vacation. He takes you to Mexico, Dubai, Paris, to the islands. Like, that's what number 3 does. Number 4 is for backup. Number 4 is for backup, and you can say he's backup and for your saving account, because in case 1 or 2 decide to step out, and you know, by step out I mean they decide they move on, they're no longer interested in dating you, they decide to move on, number 4 can replace them. You put men in their categories, and you just, you know what you're getting out of each person, and so that way your expectations don't get, you know, crushed. And not only that, you get everything taken care of. Since you started living in Boston, have you ever experienced racism? I've never experienced racism. Like, I've never had someone say anything racist to me, if that makes sense. Now, do I think that Boston can be racist? I do believe it's very racist. And it's also very segregated. I think that's the problem. It's like the people that live in this area don't go to this area, so it's like everyone just kind of stays in their own corner. Like literally all the Spanish people live in one area, all the black people live in one area, all the white people live in one area or in the suburbs. Like it's kind of like oddly or weirdly segregated. And I guess I kind of understand, like, people want to be around people that they know. But how old am I? I am 26 years old. Vodka or tequila? Tequila all day. I definitely think tequila is better than vodka, but I love me a Tito's martini. So yeah. Or Tito's and Red Bull when I go to the club, because all you taste is the Red Bull. Am I spiritual? I wouldn't say so. Like, I believe in God and I believe in a higher power, and I believe that if humans can exist, so can anything in the world. So yeah, I think that's as spiritual as I get. Other than being a sugar baby, what was / is your dream path? I would say music and acting were my 2 dream jobs from when I was a little girl. And I still actually believe I can still do, at least definitely I can still do the acting. I don't know so much about the singing, but I actually don't have a bad voice. How do you deal with people who do not agree with your lifestyle? I don't care. I block them. I don't go online looking for negative, hateful comments that are said about me. If it pops up because I'm on my phone and I get a notification from YouTube that someone commented something, then sometimes I'll see it, sometimes I'll respond. But let me tell you guys something, to be honest with you. One thing about me, I don't let that affect how I'm gonna live my life, how my day is going to go, if I'm gonna go buy myself something or not, if I'm gonna be sad or not. Like, I don't let the negative comments affect me at all. Like, you think you'll ever settle down with one of your sugar daddies? I get this question so many times. I don't know why you guys are so set on me settling down. Like, no offense, but I have not met my holy grail. The holy grail, like I said, is that man that's gonna put me on a private jet when I want to fly to Miami, or go down to California for the weekend, or go to Mexico for the weekend, or the guy that can get me a crocodile Hermes Birkin bag. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, I need a holy grail. Have I worked full-time jobs before? Absolutely. When I was 18 and 19, I used to do waitressing. When I was about 20, 21, I did home health and PCA stuff. So yeah, that was back in the days when I used to work, and I was innocent. Well, I was innocent when I was 18. By 19, I wasn't innocent so much anymore. But I did work. And then even I think at 22, at this time, I was, you know, seeing my first long-term sugar daddy, the guy that bought me all the expensive, cute, you know, diamonds. And I will leave the video that I talked all about him right here. Go check that video out if you haven't yet. But at that age of 22, when I was dating him, I did have an allowance, but this is also kind of the time I started figuring out, like, oh, you know what, one is just not enough and I need more. And also a lot of other young black women started popping out with their sugar daddies, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to go. At that time, I went and I got a job at Hooters. So when I was 22, I used to work at Hooters as well. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just not, you know, I'm just not doing this again. I mean, I think I did go back to do like personal care assistant, but then I was definitely like, okay, I'm not doing this again. How do you deal with stress and pressure in your life? I kind of isolate myself, honestly. And I just kind of focus my energy on bettering whatever it is that's been stressing me out. To pinpoint where the stress is coming from, and then, you know, tackle it full force. Figure out how you can, you know, be less stressful. But I try not to, you know, stress things a lot. How do you vet your daddies? And by vetting, I'm assuming it's like, how do I go about figuring out if they are worthy of my time or worthy of being my sugar daddy? So I usually, it depends on where I meet them. Subscribe to my Patreon if you would like to, you know where I specifically meet my sugar daddies. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description below. But how do I vet these guys? Let's say I meet a guy on Bumble. I go on a date with him. Now I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I'm not looking or rushing for money, you know. I'm on there just fishing, okay? If I swipe left or swipe right, meet someone, and we just so happen to connect, cool, so be it. And then also, I'm one of those girls on Tinder where it's like, I don't have time to be setting up dates for 2 weeks down the road, okay? It's like, if I give you my attention, this is probably the only time you're gonna get my attention. So use it up wisely. Like, are you free Friday? You want to go on a date? Okay, cool, let's go on this date. Also, because I feel like your profile should have all of the information about you, like all of your name, your age, what your favorite things to do. Is like, these back and forth are so unnecessary. Let's get to the point where you're buying me Chanel, you're paying my bills, you're giving me money. Like, let's get to that. So usually I like to vet my guys with how fast they are to just, you know, hey, like, let's go to dinner, boom. Then the restaurant, obviously, where they take you matters. So if he suggests something and you look it up, sis, if it's not as expensive as you would like, find something more expensive suggested. If he says no, then he's not worthy of your time. How he dresses on the date, and just personality, how generous he is. And obviously you probably won't find that out the first night, but you will kind of figure out based on if he turns down the restaurant that, you know, you suggested. And always suggest the most expensive restaurant, duh. So like, I wouldn't even waste my time going on a date with a guy if he's not willing to take me somewhere nice, call me an Uber, dress nice. Like, if he's not polite, like, I wouldn't even waste my time. So all of those things play a role into the type of person that he is. And I saw a quote the other day. I think I lost the quote. And it basically said, if you want to go 50-50 with a man, find a man who is willing to go 50-50. If you want a man who buys everything, you know, 100%, takes care of you, provides the bill, find a man who believes in that. And I feel like a lot of the problems that you ladies are having in this sugaring lifestyle is that you guys are trying to convert men who don't believe in spending, you know, 50% of their money on their girl. Y'all are trying to convert them into these men, when in our reality you should be trying to find the men who believe that, you know, spending all their money on their girls is what they're supposed to do with their money. And like I said, it doesn't matter. Someone can have $1 million and not want to spend nothing on you, and someone could have, you know, 500K and spend everything on you. So it just depends on the person. So the goal is no longer trying to convert. When did sugaring actually become profitable? Like bills paid, rent paid, hair done, etc. Sugaring has always been lucrative for me. Like I said, when I was 18, I met my first sugar daddy, and like, he spoiled me. And he was a guy with a private plane, not a private jet, okay, private plane, there's a difference. 19 to like 20, I got a job, but then I got a sugar daddy, so stopped working again. Got all my bills paid for, got my first Chanel, traveled. I think we went to like 11 different places in 1 year. So it's always been lucrative for me, but I would say the most lucrative has been the last 2 years, 2019 up until now, because before it was lucrative where it's like I didn't have to work a regular job, and I could buy myself, you know, a couple designer here and there, but it wasn't lucrative where it's like I'm saving money, I have an IRA. It wasn't that lucrative, but now it is, and we hope and we pray that it's more and more lucrative as, you know, the day goes. But yeah, so I think that is it for all the questions. I answered as much of them as I could. Yeah, so this was just a 20K subscriber Q&A. I want to answer some of you guys' questions because I'm, you know, obviously some of you guys are new. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you are new to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, Birkin Coco. You know how to spell Birkin and you know how to spell Coco. Be sure to subscribe to my Patreon. It'll be down in the description. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.